I don't know. But I know he's also renowned for his writing on Umbrella Academy. So, first Marvel work, definitely a good find. A lot of speculation involved in that one. And then we have Batman 21. The first appearance of Duke, I forget his name, but in the Zero-Year storyline, you've come to find out that he's one of Batman's operatives. Not really a Robin, but it's definitely going to be a key character in the Batman mythos. It's got one big crease right in the center there. But again, for a buck, to have a copy of it, can't go wrong, man. So, there's that one. Here's a fun one. DuckTales #1, giant size first issue. First appearance of DuckTales, first issue of DuckTales, man. From when I was a kid, the DuckTales was a huge TV show when I was a teenager. And my nephew and nieces grew up on it, loved it. It's actually a good show. Who doesn't love Scrooge McDuck? So it's kind of cool to get the first issue. It's a good looking book. And honestly, there's a little bit of creasing on the spine. Not bad. For a kid's book to not be beat to hell and back, I mean, that's a high grade, I think. So that's definitely a neat little find there. Another one. You can find these. I got 2 copies for a cover price out of the back issue bin the other day. But this is the dollar bin copy. This is the first appearance of White Tiger, Avengers Academy, The Fear Itself, #20. White Tiger, strong female character. Like I said, the diversity is where the direction of the future superheroes are going. You know, for 75 years we had a lot of white guy superheroes, and people were really into the diversity, and that's a good thing. So if you see one of these in the dollar bin, definitely pick it up. This one's pretty beat. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you kind of see that. These spinal creases are pretty bad. But, and I have a reading copy. And honestly, I like to keep extra copies around just in case I decide to trade. I got friends I can trade with for books. So just to throw in on a trade, you know, a little bonus. Maybe to seal the deal. Hopefully you guys have friends like that too. Here's the next one. This is X-Men 53, the first full appearance of Onslaught. You know, these Marvel comics movies, they're in outer space. They've got these giant, you know, threats, menaces. You know, you got Thanos, and he's one of the biggies, and they're in space now. And not only that, you know, they got to have a threat to all come together. So now you have the X-Men coming into the Marvel MCU. You have, well, Fantastic Four and everything. So, you know, Thanos is one of the ones that, in the comics at least, they all came together to battle Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, Infinity War. But back on Earth, one of the biggest threats that we've seen from the X-Men was the Onslaught. So there's a pretty good chance that there might be an Onslaught, you know, appearance in one of these movies. He might end up being one of the big bads. So not a bad find for a buck. Who knows? But there's definitely some spinal ticks in there. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Other than that, it looks great. And you know, let me say something about this too. If you guys are digging through the dollar bins, take care of them, man. Don't bend them in half and you know, throw them around. Care for your comics. You love comics, care for your comics, man. Care for those people's comics. And I know that these dealers don't always take the best care. I see them, they're all bent up in the box, and it's partly their fault too, because they don't, they just throw them in the box, and they if you have a comic box and it's not full and your comics are falling over, get a small box, I don't know, something like a mailer or something, and just put it in there, an empty box to fill up space. And that way your comics aren't flopping around. And these dealers need to do that too. I know that. But as best you can, don't bend them. And honestly, I know they overstuff them too. Don't overstuff your boxes. You're damaging your books. It causes your spinal creases. You end up bending them. It actually causes spinal rolls, all kinds of problems. So you just kind of want to stay away from jamming that. But when you're doing the dollar boxes, the best way I found it for the overstuffed ones is just grab a nice handful of them from maybe towards the front bit, not the first couple, and just lift them straight up out of there and put them on a pile. Find a nice flat place to put them on a pile, and then flip through the comics and the pile. Don't forget about the pile. But flip through your comics in the bin. And honestly, a lot of times I don't replace those comics. Again, we love comics. We don't abuse comics. So don't murder those comics. If they don't fit in there, I'm not going to say easily, but if you got to make an effort to get them in there, they don't belong in there. I'm not killing somebody else's comics. I wouldn't want it done to mine. They can do it themselves if they want to beat on them. But anyways, back to this. Here's a good one. This is gold. The first appearance of The Simpsons. Boom. Bartman. Simpsons Comics and Stories, issue number 1. Couldn't believe I found it. I think this is about a $15 book value, but this one right here, lot of spinal ticks, man. And one little fold in this corner. I don't know if you guys can see this. A little bit, but looks like it was folded over a little bit in that corner, and these spinal ticks don't really show on camera, but they're there. But for a buck, man, to have a nice iconic issue of The Simpsons, just to have, cool find. Another thing with these values, when you hear that a book is worth $15, $20, the majority of the time they're referring to the highest grade of like a 9/8, something near perfect condition. That doesn't mean that every issue is worth, like I said, $15. That issue probably is only worth 3 or 4, but hey, it's actually just cool to have, so that's a bargain in itself. Now, let's get into something. This one, I don't know what this one's going for, but that's Thor God of Thunder number 5. And the reason I got that is because I've been hunting these down because these books are really hot right now because of the Donny Cates run on Venom. He's tying Venom stuff into everything, and this is actually not what the storyline it ties into. This book's actually in pretty good condition, a little spinal crease, and other than that, it's in great condition. I don't know about that red on that bottom, though. I don't know if that's a printing. It's like a lighter red. I don't know if that's a printing issue or if it's faded, but the artwork on it doesn't look bad. See here, the artwork looks pretty legit, so I think it's just the red that they used. But this is what I've been looking for a while. That's Thor God of Thunder number 6. This ties in. This is the first cameo appearance of Null, the symbiote god. So that's how it ties into Venom. Now with this copy right now, again, a high grade is going for about $50 on eBay. I wasn't going to pay $50. Like I said, these markets can bottom out. Right now, they're getting ready to release the Venom movie in about a month. So these Venom books are really, really hot, but rightfully so too. I mean, even for regular comic collectors, not just the general public, it's a good, solid book, man. And so, anyways, everybody's scooping this up because this ties in. But the issue here is there is so much spinal creasing on this. Here, let me see here. I'm going to open this up for you guys so you can see. Can you see that reflection? See that? You see those little divots?